Hey, guess what's happening on this week's episode of the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast with your friend and host, Oscar Camejo.
You're listening to the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast, where we talk about real life strategies to help you take control of your health one day at a time. If you're new here, welcome, people. For my longtime listeners, yes, I know it's been a while since I published the last episode. But, I'm still here, I'm still committed, and I'm still on this mission to help diabetics make lifestyle changes to reverse type 2 diabetes. This podcast has always been about encouragement, truth, and of course, transformation. It's not about perfection. It's not about getting things right every single time. It's about building persistence, building consistency, and that stick-to-itness. And you know what? Today's episode is no different because November here in the United States is known as National Diabetes Month. And I want to take this time to speak directly to you, especially if you've recently been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, or perhaps you've been living with it for some time now. I know a lot of you may feel discouraged. I've been there, and I want to share with you tools that help me to overcome the discouragement. We're going to talk all about what happens when you receive that diagnosis. It's not just about the physical part, but we have to deal with the emotional part, which honestly is where a lot of people struggle the most. So let's jump right into it. Let's go. Be sure to visit the website at www.beatingdiabetieslifestyle.com for access to free resources and other information that will help you along your journey. If you would like to submit a question or a comment about the show or to learn more about the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle, you can always email me at hello@beatingdiabetieslifestyle.com. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this podcast. Welcome to the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast with me, your host, Oscar Camejo, helping diabetics make lifestyle changes to reverse type 2 diabetes. Every episode, I want you to know that this is a safe space. We're here to build rapport, to help build trust with one another, and to talk honestly about the real struggles that a lot of us face. But not only the struggles, but also the victories that come with overcoming type 2 diabetes. There's no judgment, just support, 110%. So let's start where change begins. It starts by recognizing that making lasting changes is going to be tough, but it's not impossible. Let's talk about the emotional roller coaster that a lot of us feel sometimes, especially once you've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. In my situation, when I was first diagnosed with type 2 diabetes back in August 2020, folks, I was 268 pounds. I was tired all the time. I was constantly craving sugar, and my sleep was horrible. Deep down, I knew something wasn't right. So when I first heard those words, "you have type 2 diabetes," it felt like I was punched in the gut, folks. I sat there in the hospital because that's where I first learned that I had type 2 diabetes after an episode. I was sitting there and I was thinking, man, how did I let this happen? That moment came with a lot of emotions for me. There was the initial shock, of course. Then came the denial, the anger, the guilt. I went through the sadness and the roller coaster of emotions. It felt like every emotion was just rolled up into this one ball. And I was confused. I did not know what to do. I was feeling bad about myself. I remember driving home afterwards. I was just feeling numb. It wasn't even about the numbers, really, or even the medication that I had to start taking. And it was the emotional weight of realizing that my lifestyle had led me to where I am now. So eventually I realized that my lifestyle had to be the thing that changed in order for me to overcome this thing. But you know what? That didn't click for me as soon as I left the hospital. It wasn't like, oh, okay, yeah, go ahead and just make these lifestyle changes and everything's going to be all right. No, folks, trust me, that ride home and the weeks after that, it was tough. You're talking about a new way of life. First of all, trying to understand what type 2 diabetes was for me, it was just overwhelming. You hear about people losing limbs or losing toes and going blind and even dying. That was what was on my mind. I'm like, man, I don't want to die. So it was very daunting. If you're listening to me right now and you had those same thoughts and same emotions when you got your diagnosis, I want you to know something. You're definitely not alone. Those emotions are valid. People, you're human. We're all human. A diabetes diagnosis can shake your confidence. It happened to me, folks. But I can tell you that even when you feel isolated, like you may be feeling isolated right now, like somehow you failed, right? You feel like, okay, I'm in this isolation. I feel like I failed. I don't know what to do. I have to learn about this diabetes thing. I have to learn about medication. Am I injecting myself the wrong way? Do I even want to take medication or not? And what if I take too many pills? Well, you go through all of these scary moments and you have these scary thoughts, But let me tell you something. You have not failed. Let me say that again. You, my friend, have not failed. You've just reached a moment of awareness. And awareness is the first step towards transformation. So with this being the National Diabetes Awareness Month here in the U.S., I want you to reset. I want you to reset. Yes, you are experiencing the emotions. Now it's time to reset. Yes, you've got the diagnosis. It's time to reset. Reset your thinking, get your emotions under control. Because here, let's deal with the truth about this journey. You see, managing diabetes isn't just about watching what you eat or checking your blood sugar every 5 minutes. It's about rebuilding trust with yourself, your body, your habits, and most importantly, your mindset. Folks, I know what it is. In our minds, that's where the battle happens. So the mind is a battlefield. So either we're going to win this and beat type 2 diabetes or we're not. But I believe in you. If I can change my mindset and turn my life around and be my own motivator, you can too. Folks, I know that's not easy. You might be thinking, Oscar, I've tried before and it didn't work. Or I want to change. I heard that I have type 2 diabetes. My blood sugar is off the roof. My levels are just crazy. I want to change. I want to try something different. That's how I found your podcast. But I just wonder if it's too late for me. But that voice of fear, I want you to know, and I want you to hear this loud and clear. That voice is not the truth. It's not too late for you. Listen, when I was diagnosed, I was in my late 40s, and I'm 52 now at the time of this podcast episode. And I am the fittest and most healthiest I've been in my entire life, without exaggeration. So I wish I had taken my health more serious when I was in my 30s and in my early 40s. Life happens. You go through stress. You have work issues, family issues. Things just happen. And I know there's like this compounding stress that keeps added to you. You don't get enough sleep, and then it affects your eating. It affects what you're putting in your body, drinking more sweet teas and lemonades and eating cakes and all this stuff to really cope with what you're going through. I know, folks. Here, the truth is, though, your diagnosis does not define you. It's just information. It's your body's way of saying, hey, it's time to take care of me differently. Folks, when I started making changes, it didn't start with a strict diet plan. Matter of fact, I've never been on a diet. I've never adopted a diet plan. I didn't want to take on something that would be temporary. I wanted to develop a new lifestyle. It wasn't some fancy workout routine that I started and paid for. No, my workout routines are all free. I found a free program and I've been using that for the last 4.5 years to maintain good health. Folks, I started by walking. I started by hiking more, getting on a bike. And yes, of course, I changed what I was eating because, I had gained so much weight because I was eating unhealthy foods and not exercising regularly, not watching what I was putting in my body, not being a conscious eater. Yeah, when I started walking and hiking, I would walk a few blocks here or there in my neighborhood, and I wanted to venture out of my neighborhood. And I remember wanting to go on hikes, and I found places to go hiking. Folks, I was winded those early days of getting out and walking, going to the gym, winded. I was embarrassed going to the gym and seeing everybody who was working out. They seemed very diligent. They were on point, and my clothes didn't fit right. I just felt like this big fat walrus. Yeah, it was crazy. But guess what? I decided that I was going to do it anyway. I was going to walk anyway. I was going to go to the gym anyway. I was going to change my lifestyle anyway. I know what it is to feel that gym shame where you walk into the gym and you feel embarrassed and you feel like you're not doing enough. Even rewind the tape. I know what it feels like to drive up to the gym and not feel like getting out of the car. Go rewind the tape even more. I know what it feels like when you want to pack your gym bag and you're like, oh man, I don't know what to wear. I don't know what to put on. I don't even know if I have the right shoes. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I simply do not know. Yes. But you know what? I got in the car anyway, drove anyway, parked in the parking lot anyway, walked through the threshold of the gym anyway. And I'm glad I did. I stopped eating the fried foods. I would cut them out. I cut out the sugar and the sweets and the sugary drinks. I was determined, man. I was ready to do whatever it took on this journey to reverse type 2 diabetes. Now, mind you, I didn't even know early on that you can reverse type 2 diabetes. So here I am, fast forward. I've run marathons, an ultra marathon. I regularly work out at the gym, like maybe 4 to 5 times a week. I still go on walks. I do trail running. I do hikes. I feel really good about where I am. But you know what? Going back to when I was in the hospital and was recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, if you would have told me that one day I would be running a marathon, half marathons, 5Ks, and doing an ultra marathon and trail running, I would have been like, yeah, right. Maybe the hiking, but I don't know about all the other stuff. But you know what, folks? Like I said, I had to start somewhere. And it started with the change in my mind. Those walks eventually turned into jogs. Those jogs turned into runs. And now, like I said, I've completed multiple races, including a 10-miler recently and getting ready for a half marathon and going to be running a marathon, first quarter of next year. But it all started with one decision, that I'm not giving up on myself. And I don't want you to give up on yourself, no matter what the diagnosis is. Now, I have a friend of mine. His name is Shelton. I had him on the show early on when I first started podcasting. Shelton, he is a below the knee amputee. So he wasn't able to do all the things that he wanted to. But that didn't stop him from starting a business. It didn't stop him from changing his lifestyle. It didn't stop him from encouraging other amputees. And now he's on a mission. I'm so proud of him. So Shelton, yeah, he may be missing a limb, but he has a prosthetic. And so I want to shout out to him because he understands the power of taking one step despite the limitations. So I want to encourage you as well to take one small step this month. I want you to focus on something that will help you to regain control of your life as well as your confidence. I want you to challenge yourself. It's a personal challenge. But before I share with you what I want you to challenge yourself to do, I want you to take to heart what I've shared with you thus far. about the realities of where you are, folks. There was a time that even after I lost over 80 pounds, feeling good and just reverse type 2 diabetes, that, I started kind of coasting a little bit. I didn't give up the exercise. I didn't give up the healthy eating, but I would start to not even incorporate, but I would have a cookie here and there, and that cookie would turn into, a cookie a day, and then I started saying, okay, I'm putting on a little bit more weight than I wanted to, but I was always conscious of the fact that, Oscar, you're living a new lifestyle now. Yeah, it's okay, once in a while, but don't go back to those old habits. And that's going to be a big challenge. And that is fighting the desires to give up, cave in, and quit. That's one. But also fighting the notion of, hey, you know what? I've made progress and maybe I can just have a cheap meal here or there. It's not going to hurt. The holidays are here and you're going to be encouraged by family members to, eat this cake and just enjoy yourself. It's not that bad, but remember why you're on this journey in the first place. And that is not only to reverse type 2 diabetes, but to live and to develop and to live a lifestyle of good health and well-being, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So the personal challenge for Diabetes Awareness Month. Yes, you've been given your paperwork from your doctor on what you need to do, as far as maybe you've been told to take medication. Maybe you've been told to, quote unquote, eat right and get exercise and so forth. So I am not a physician. I am not a doctor. So I'm not going to tell you or give you advice on what you should do regarding your medication. That is a personal decision that you have to make. You have to do what's right for you. So I remember when I started losing the weight and I was feeling good about myself. I said, you know what? I'm going to challenge myself to do something I've never done before. And that was to sign up for a 5K run. And I'll never forget it. I was nervous signing up for it, but I was also excited. I wanted to challenge myself to do something different. I'm a little competitive, by the way, by nature. So I was really wanting to compete against myself. Why not do something that I've not done before? So yes, I remember the preparation that I had to undergo to get ready just for that 5K. I'd never done anything like that before. I had to learn what a 5K was. I signed up for it and I'm so glad you did. I was so focused on, man, I got to, really run fast and stuff like that. So I learned a lot from that race. So my point is, commit yourself to doing something that's challenging, but that's also realistic, that you can accomplish. Whether it's a 5K walk or run, that's something physical that I want you to do. Don't worry about your pace. Just show up, walk it if you need to. The point is, commit yourself financially, something about paying the cost for change. Do something that will cost you. Yeah, there may be a free 5K run. You can do that as well. But the point is, make an investment in your health, right? Get the clothes ready, get your shoes ready. And I'm telling you, when I was getting ready to run that 5K, I was excited. Like I said, I was also nervous because, I've never done anything like that before. But here's the thing, that excitement, that nervousness was like fuel that helped me to get my mind prepared to do something that I'm so glad I did. And then I got into eventually doing distance and I realized, man, I actually like running longer distances, but that started with signing up. So again, challenge yourself this month to do something that you have never done before, or maybe it's been a while since you've done it. Now, I'm not telling you to go back and try to reclaim your title as a track star that you were in high school. No, don't hurt yourself. Here's another challenge. I want you to read one book. It could be an audio book or it could be, hard copy. read one book about nutrition or health. I personally recommend The Diabetes Code by Dr. Jason Fung. That book changed how I saw food and insulin resistance. It gave me a better understanding of what it meant to reverse type 2 diabetes. You may say, okay, Oscar, check. I'll sign up for a 5K walk or run. I'll get the book. Is there anything else I can do? What about going to the gym? Now, listen, going to the gym should be a part of your lifestyle. I want you to, yes, challenge yourself. If you're not already going to the gym or you're not physically, if you're not going out doing some physical activity, I want you to start. But I don't want you to get sucked into your success having to rely on you having a gym membership, if that makes sense. Folks, people think that the gym is just going to the gym is an answer. It's a cure-all. It's not. It's what you do in the gym. It's what you do when you go out for your daily walk. My thing is, I want you to challenge yourself to do something that you're not already doing. If you're going to go to the gym, I don't want you to just get on the treadmill and do an easy walk every time that you go to the gym. I don't want you to just do something that's easy. I want you to do something that's challenging, that you're not currently doing. If you're not going to the gym at all, yes, start with going at least once a week, but challenge yourself when you go to the gym to learn a new machine, to work on your legs, to work on your upper body, to work on your conditioning. That's what changed the game for me, folks, is going into the gym with a plan, with an understanding of what I wanted to do. Now, when I signed up for the gym the first time, I didn't have this mentality. I just thought, hey, like I've done in the past, show up to the gym and just try to figure stuff out. No, I found a plan that helped me with my flexibility, mobility, conditioning, endurance, and strength. Those 5 things. And that's what I maintain as far as my mindset when I go to the gym. I'm going to work on my flexibility, my mobility, my conditioning, my endurance. I'm going to work on those things that's going to help me build stronger muscles. I'm working on strength. I'm not trying to get bulky, but I want to have strong legs, maintain lean muscle. I want to lose fat. You just walking on the treadmill, going at a really, really slow pace may not always be I don't want you to think that that's the only thing that you need to do to lose weight, folks. No, it's a combination of the physical when you go out and exercise, but also what you're putting in your body by way of calories and food. You get what I'm saying? Another challenge I want you to do is read more material like blog posts and articles each week about health and nutrition that's going to help you to understand diabetes better, that'll help you to understand what lifestyle changes specifically you should make to turn your life around. Folks, I remember starting this journey. I started consuming as many books as possible. Blog posts, articles. I would read everything that I could. I would sign up for seminars. I wanted to understand what it was that I needed to do to reverse type 2 diabetes. Read some blog posts about Mediterranean diet and how that is considered the number one diet or eating pattern, I should say, for people who want to maintain good heart health and to maintain good weight management. So you see, folks, working on both the physical and the mental sides of well-being is what kept me going. When I started exercising, like I said, it felt clearer. When I started reading and learning about food, I felt empowered. I didn't even know there was a such thing as food science. And when I started digging into the benefits of spinach versus kale and understanding the nutritional makeup of blueberries, I'm like, wow, it started blowing my mind. And listen, folks, that motivation did not come overnight. I'm excited now about life. But when I was first diagnosed, I didn't know if it was going to be the end for me. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? Eventually progress came, but it didn't come because of perfection. Now, I'm a man of faith. I'm not ashamed of it. So I want to share with you briefly about faith, your perspective, and hope. You know, I often remind myself of this verse from the Bible. It's out of the second letter to Timothy, or 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. That verse got me through some tough days, folks, because it reminded me that I wasn't powerless. If you're discouraged right now, I want you to hear me clearly. You are not your diagnosis. You are not your A1C number. I don't care what the number is. You are not your setbacks. In fact, use your setbacks as stepping stones for your comeback. You have the ability today, my friends, to start writing a new chapter. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. So what are you going to do with today? Remember, this isn't about living longer. It's about living better. And you can absolutely do that one small victory at a time. Now, here's a call to action that I am issuing to you, along with the challenge that I shared with you earlier. Make this month, this Diabetes Awareness Month, your month of action. Now, don't just limit it to what's happening or to 1 month. Don't just limit it to Diabetes Awareness Month. This is just your Take Action Month. This is just your first step month. Take that one step towards better health. Yes, join that 5K, read that book, start journaling your progress, keep track of your progress. I don't care if it's the weight loss, how many days you're going to the gym, what you're eating, you're cooking more, eating out less, cutting out fried foods. I don't care what it is. Do something that's going to challenge you to develop a healthy lifestyle. And most importantly, believe that you're capable of change, folks. Now, for my first time listeners, I have a free weight loss planner that I've shared with my listeners before. I want you to take advantage of it. It's definitely free. It's available on my website at beatingdiabetieslifestyle.com. It's not just a food tracker. It's a tool that helps you to stay focused and build consistency. You can download it right now on my website. I have a link to it in the show notes. All right, folks, that's it for today. And as always, remember, stay focused, keep moving, never go back, leap forward, bounce back because you can, my friend. And above all else, trust God. You got this. I believe in you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Beating Diabetes Lifestyle Podcast with Oscar Camejo. We hope you enjoyed this episode. As a reminder, this podcast is intended for motivational and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional care by a physician or other healthcare professional or qualified fitness instructor. This podcast is provided on the understanding that it does not constitute medical or professional advice or services. If you're looking for help on your journey, seek a qualified medical practitioner. It's important that you utilize someone who is a trained, licensed healthcare professional who can help you on your journey toward good health.